Days of Our Lives spoiler shockwave. Shawn rejects Belle's plea, Stephanie's fury erupts on Owen, and Steve's heartbreaking apology to Jeremy. Salem is bracing for an emotional earthquake. Just when fans thought the dust had settled on a half-dozen love triangles and long-buried family secrets, Days of Our Lives is about to rip the bandage off 3 raw wounds in a single, blistering episode. In an exclusive preview obtained by Creativity News, the week ahead delivers not 1, but 3 gut-punch confrontations that will redefine loyalties, shatter illusions, and force Salem's most stubborn residents to look in the mirror. Shawn Douglas Brady draws a line in the sand. The first bombshell drops on the rain-slicked docks of Salem's harbor. Belle Black, dressed in a trench coat that does little to hide her desperation, has tracked down her estranged husband, Shawn Douglas. For weeks, she has been carefully crafting a speech, one filled with contrition, nostalgia, and promises of a fresh start. She gets down on one knee, holding out a simple band, and proposes they renew their vows. "Let's erase everything that happened in Hong Kong. Let's start over," she whispers, tears streaming. But Shawn doesn't melt. He doesn't pull her into a forgiving embrace. Instead, he steps back, one deliberate, devastating step. The rejection is not shouted. It's whispered. "I can't," he says, his voice cracking. "Belle, I love you. But love without trust is just a memory. And right now, you're asking me to live in a memory while you keep one foot in the door with EJ. I see the way you look at him. I'm not your second choice. I'm not anyone's safety net." The camera lingers on Belle's face as the proposal ring clatters to the wet wood. This isn't a temporary rift. This is Shawn reclaiming his dignity. Sources say this rejection sends Belle spiraling into a dangerous alliance with an unlikely ally, and sets up a custody war that will make their last fight look like a playground squabble. Stephanie Johnson's reckoning. No more nice girl. Meanwhile, across town at the Brady pub, Stephanie Johnson has traded her usual composed smile for a flinty glare. She has cornered Owen, the charming but slippery tech consultant who has been playing both sides of the Kuryaki's Demera Cold War. For months, Stephanie has bitten her tongue, given the benefit of the doubt, and prioritized keeping the peace. Not anymore. The confrontation is raw and public. "You stood in my living room. You held my hand and told me you were worried about my father's health," Stephanie hisses, slamming a tablet onto the table. "All while you were feeding intel to Clyde Weston's ghost network. You used my grief, Owen. My grief as a passkey." Owen tries his usual smooth deflection, half smile. You've got it all wrong," shrug. But Stephanie isn't having it. She leans in, voice dropping to a venomous whisper. "I'm not here for an apology. I'm here to tell you that I've already sent everything to the FBI. And I've also told your new boss at Titan exactly how you embezzled from that charity fund, the one for pediatric cancer." This is a turning point for Stephanie. No longer the supportive sidekick or the romantic pawn, she is stepping into her own as a force of moral clarity. But her victory may be Pyrrhic. Owen, cornered and dangerous, hints that he has a dead man's switch on a secret about Stephanie's mother that could destroy her entire family. The episode ends with Stephanie frozen, realizing that closure sometimes comes with a loaded gun aimed at your past. Steve Patch Johnson's long overdue apology to Jeremy Horton. The most emotionally complex beat of the episode belongs to Steve Johnson. In a quiet, dimly lit room at the Salem Inn, the one-eyed ISA veteran sits across from a man he has wronged for decades, Jeremy Horton. Yes, that Jeremy, Mike Horton's son and Laura Horton's grandson, a character long presumed forgotten by Salem's writers. Steve doesn't make excuses. He doesn't hide behind, "I was a different man back then," or "Your grandmother forgave me." Instead, he does something Steve Johnson rarely does. He speaks without a trace of bravado. "Jeremy, I terrorized your family. I broke into your grandmother's house. I held a knife to her throat. Not because I was a spy, but because I was a drunk, broken, vengeful fool. And you were just a kid. You heard her scream." Jeremy, played with raw vulnerability by a returning guest star, doesn't offer easy absolution. His hands shake around a coffee cup. "You know what I remember? Hiding in the closet. Counting my own heartbeat so you wouldn't hear it. I've had panic attacks in elevators for 30 years because of you, Steve." The apology that follows is a masterclass in soap opera writing. Steve doesn't ask for forgiveness. He asks for permission to try. "I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to say your pain has a name, and it's mine. If you want to yell, yell. If you want to walk out, I'll never contact you again. But I owe you a truth. I think about that night every single day, and I am so sorry." In a twist that will leave viewers reaching for tissues, Jeremy doesn't hug Steve. He doesn't curse him out. Instead, he simply nods and says, "I believe you." Those 3 words carry more weight than any fistfight. It's not closure, it's an opening. And it sets up a surprising alliance as Jeremy reveals he has evidence that could clear Steve's name in an old Issa corruption case. The bigger picture, what makes this episode remarkable is its refusal to take shortcuts. Shawn doesn't suddenly forgive Belle. He chooses self-respect. Stephanie doesn't win against Owen. She buys a victory that may cost her everything. And Steve doesn't earn absolution. He earns the chance to begin a decades-late apology. Days of Our Lives has often been dismissed as a guilty pleasure of melodramatic twists, possession, lookalikes, and resurrections. But episodes like this remind us that at its core, the show is a chamber piece about how people survive betrayal, confront their demons, and sometimes, just sometimes, learn to apologize without expecting a pardon.